Hi, this is Preetika Rao. I'm a model and actor from Mumbai, India, and today I have a very interesting guest on my show. He calls himself AiR, which means Atma in Ravi, a successful entrepreneur who started the trend of retail in India for the very first time. A man who is basking in the riches and the glory of name and fame and money and everything you call it, traveling in a 6-door limousine, suddenly transforms from Ravi to Atma in Ravi, because there is a spiritual metamorphosis that takes place, and he discovers that there's more to life than just money. AiR is a spiritual mentor, transformational author, singer and a philanthropist. He is on a mission to help people discover the way to eternal happiness through enlightenment. AiR, welcome on my channel. So nice to see you. So you started off as an entrepreneur and one of the pioneers in establishing retail industries in setting up in India, right? But how did you just suddenly move on to this spiritual path and just get diverged?
When people ask me this question, I say, I'm an idiot.
Okay.
And then I correct myself and say, am I an idiot? The reason being this. Many people think you're a fool, right? You left a glamorous world, you had money, you had business, you had fun, everything. ऐसे छोड़ दिया क्यों? I realized that in life there are 3 peaks. The first peak is achievement. I was on that peak, and I thought life is about going from peak to peak to peak. We want more success and more money and more name. We all want it. Yeah. But then I discovered the second peak of life is not achievement, it's fulfillment. Fulfillment is a state of contentment. So I shut down my business because I felt what I earn, others will burn. If you look at it in life, people, they earn and earn and earn. And then what? You know who are the ones who are really spending money? The ones who are really spending money are not the ones who are earning it. It's those, because people who are busy making money, they're just busy making money. So then I shut down my business. I started living a life of contentment and fulfillment. And I found the third peak. And the third peak was enlightenment. When I reached that peak of life, that was a peak where you have bliss, you have joy, you become the happiest person in the world. So then I decided I know where I am, and I'm there.
So what is your lifestyle like? Like जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं दिनचर्या. What's your routine like, your daily routine?
Today, I have just one mission. And it is to help people realize the truth. So I talk to people, I sing songs, I write books. Everything that I do has just one purpose, to help people realize, who am I? कि मैं कौन हूँ? Because unfortunately, in this world, जो अंधे हैं, how many percent are blind? 1% of this world is visually blind. But 99% is spiritually blind. Right. 99% don't know the truth.
Consciously blind too.
You just follow the herd.
Okay.
I went on a quest. And I had several questions. Okay, what will happen after I die? How did I come to this earth? What is the soul? Is rebirth real? Does the law of karma exist? Who is God? Where is God? What is God? I had so many questions. What is the purpose of life? All these questions, I wanted answers. I asked myself the question, chicken or egg, what came first? Did the tree come from the seed, or the seed come from the tree? I wanted answers, and I found all the answers.
So, in the course of your life, you realized that there were a lot of people who were struggling to be happy, right? Why do you think that people are really struggling to be happy and, they're not finding that happiness or contentment anywhere?
Because people are trying to become happy. Happiness is not in becoming. You've got to be happy. So people have lost the true meaning of happiness. We are confusing happiness with pleasure. Now, pleasure is momentary, right? From the time you're a child, you want a doll, I want a ball, we want an ice cream. This is momentary. It comes and it goes. But happiness is something which forever flows. So people are struggling to be happy because they are trying to achieve success. They are thinking happiness comes from success, name, fame, money, pleasure. Oh, when I get my latest Merc, or I want a BMW, and that will give me happiness. And what happens when you get your BMW? Your neighbor gets the new model, you become unhappy. Happiness is not in becoming happy. People are struggling because they are unable to be happy. See what happens all the time, we think that if we have a desire, and if the desire is fulfilled, we will be happy. But desires will never quench your thirst. They will only make you burst. Because you have a desire, sometimes the desire will be fulfilled and sometimes it won't be fulfilled. So, in the end of the day, you're going to be unhappy. So, I think it's a paradox. People say, I want to be happy. The moment you say I, the ego, you become unhappy. The moment you say want, the desire makes you unhappy. Just drop the I want to. Be happy.
And just be happy.
Be happy. Happiness is being.
So actually happiness is here and not in the objects that we desire.
Absolutely. Happiness is within. We are searching for happiness which is within. How will we ever find it?
ये आपने लिखा है. क्या बात है. So today's times are very stressful and people post-COVID, they seem to be on the run, bhagte ja rahe. It's like nobody is really settled or satisfied with anything in life. And there seems to be no peace of mind. So what would your mantra be? Like, what would you be able to tell people? How can they find peace of mind?
Peace you cannot find. Peace you cannot find. It is within you. Just still your mind. What is peace of mind? Suppose you have a lake. It's a beautiful, still lake. You throw a rock into the lake, there are ripples, and the peace is lost. What happens to you and me? We have peace in our inside of us, we have peace. But then the mind, it is bombarding us with thoughts. The mind thinks up to 50 thoughts a minute. This can be 50,000 thoughts a day. This mind is drilling us and killing us. This mind is stealing our peace. And we so foolishly say we want peace of mind. How can you have peace of mind? Because when there is mind, there is no peace. The moment you still the mind, peace you will find.
Okay, nice. So the world is full of different people who, claim to be a guru or a master to a lot of people. People look up to them. But how would you say, how would you tell people to differentiate between the real enlightened master? And if somebody is doubting you to be one, what would you have to tell them?
So first of all, I believe that no real guru will claim to be a guru. A guru is a beacon of light. The word guru, you must know, comes from the word gu, darkness, to ru, light. Guru takes you from gu to ru. So therefore a real guru is one who is able to help you switch on the light within. So you should be a true seeker to find a true guru. Most people go to the guru and say, "Mujhe diksha daan do, initiate me." What does initiate me mean? Are you willing to walk the path? Unfortunately, there are too many people, too many gurus, too many masters. In fact, people are confused. Because one guru is saying take left, another guru is saying take right. I was in Iceland last week and I was driving And as I was driving, the car had a GPS. And it was not so clear, the signal. So I put on a GPS on my phone. And the car GPS said, in 100 meters, take right. And the phone said, in 50 meters, take left. So what do you do when you have two masters giving you two different directions? So if you want to reach that state of enlightenment, you want to be spiritually awakened, you need not just a guru, you need an enlightened guru, a genuine enlightened master who seeks nothing. Because if he is seeking something from you, you can never get enlightened. If enlightenment is sold at a price, if enlightenment is sold at a price, then to be awakened with such enlightenment will be a big surprise.
That's true. So a lot of people say that I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. Okay, but then when you actually look at their lifestyle and modus operandi, you realize that they're actually religious and not spiritual. And they still, I know that there are many paths, but there are some people who are very ritualistic, and how would you describe or differentiate between religion and spirituality? Because a lot of people really believe that no, religion is the thing, it's like they can fight for religion, they can kill for religion, but they don't realize that they'll not go anywhere, with all of that bad karma. But how do you see the difference between religion and spirituality?
So today in this world there is religion, and religion rules the world, right? All through the world, religion is probably the richest individual in the world. If you add all the religions in the world, and the most powerful, the richest groups are the religious groups. So you can't eliminate religion. But if you ask me what is religion and spirituality, to me it's very simple. Religion is a kindergarten, spirituality is a university, which means that religion is good. Actually all religions are good, because all religions tell you pray to God, be good, do good karma, do good dharma. All religions are good, but there's a problem. Every religion tells you my God is God, my scripture is the right scripture. So now if you go to the thousands of religions or hundreds of religions in the world, which is the right God, which is the right religion? So yeah, many people say, I am not religious, I am spiritual. What do you mean? No, I go to the temple every day. So by going to the temple every day, you don't become spiritual. Spirituality is a science of the spirit. Spirituality is a science. It is science of the soul, S-O-U-L, which is the spark of unique life. So when religion tells you God, spirituality takes you to God through a journey of self-realization and then God realization. You cannot realize God, you cannot attain God if you are trying to find a God with bone and skin. Because God is not God. God is Sip, a supreme immortal power. God is not made of bone and skin. If God was made of skin, then God would need a dermatologist. And if he was like the figures we show, then there must be a cardiologist for God. No, it's very funny, but we celebrate the birthday of God. You mean God is born? No, God is birthless and deathless, beginningless and endless. Religion starts our journey to God. Spirituality finishes it. Without religion, we cannot attain God. It's just like saying I cannot become a graduate without kindergarten. But most of us are living in the kindergarten of religion. Even when we are 70 years, 80 years, we are still repeating A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. We are still thinking God is that statue. No, a spiritual person will not pray to God. He will pray through God. When you pray through God, actually God is in you. God is everywhere. God is in everything, because God is a supreme immortal power. God is every soul. God is in every molecule of matter. But this can only be realized. You can't define this in words. So therefore, religion is a kindergarten. Spirituality is a university. To conclude, if somebody wants to attain God, It's like a game of pole vault, which means that you need religion. Religion is like that pole. You want to jump over the pole vault. So you take the pole of religion, you run, 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 you jump high up, but if you want to cross over, you drop the pole, and then you jump over to spirituality, and then there is self-realization, and then there is God realization. Then you realize, मैं क्या हूँ कुछ भी नहीं, सब कुछ तुम ही हो प्रभु, तुम बिन मैं क्या कुछ भी ना, लहर एक हूँ मैं प्रभु, आता मैं जाता प्रभु, तू है समुंदर सारा, तुझ में समाता प्रभु, तुझी से मैं आता कुछ भी ना.
Wow, lovely. So we all born, and the biggest question that everybody has in their mind is, why are we here? Why are we born? You know. So, and I'm sure a lot of people come to you and ask you that question, why am I born? So what is, according to you, the purpose of every human birth?
Actually, so when it comes to having a purpose for human birth, it is only the human being that has a purpose on earth. A cat or a rat, a butterfly or a bee, a dog, a frog, they live and they die. But the human being is not supposed to just live and die. The purpose of the human being is to find out, who am I? The human being has a larger purpose, and that is ultimately to be liberated. The Buddhists may call it nirvana, the Hindus may call it moksha, the Western world calls it salvation, liberation, different words. But everybody around the world, the majority of people, talk of one goal. And that goal, the purpose, is to become one with the divine, to become one with God. So in India we call it mukti and moksha. But that is the purpose. It's not understood well, but yes, there is a purpose. The purpose, in my understanding, is one, to be liberated from all suffering on earth, and two, to be liberated from the cycle of rebirth. To be free from this samsara. We should not be born, and this should not go on and on and on.
And for that, a whole lot of righteous conduct is important.
Actually, righteous conduct is not the way.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think that by doing good deeds I'll attain God. In fact, a lot of religions talk of this. By doing good deeds you will get a good life. Okay. Because deeds become like seeds. The moment you plant a seed, there will be a fruit. So the moment you do good deeds, righteousness, you said righteous deeds, then you have to come back to get the reward for that. But liberation is not doing good karma. Liberation is being free from karma. How do you reach that state where you are free from karma? Because you've got to do karma, right? Every living being has to do something. So how do you get free from action? You can't be free from action. You've got to be free in action. Means you become a divine instrument. You transcend the body, mind and ego. And you reach that state where you become a Jivan Mukta. So I do nothing. Although this body is doing, I am not doing. The karma is not mine. That is the way to mukti. That is the way to nirvana. When we can be free from karma.
All right. So I can see a lot of your books here, and you've written 70 of them. And I'm sure every book had a purpose and an intention behind it. So what has been your whole lookout when you write these books? What are the messages that you want your readers, your seekers to gain from your books?
I have written 70 books, but all the 70 books have one objective. And that one objective is to help people realize the truth. What is the true meaning of happiness? Now somebody wants a book on happiness. I have written 5-6 books on happiness. Somebody wants peace of mind. I have written a book on peace, on world peace. Somebody wants to be free from suffering, from problems. I have written books. I have written several books on karma. What is karma? Life is karma. So I have written a series of books on karma, on liberation, on nirvana, on moksha. So all my books are ultimately driving to that one purpose, that is to help people be enlightened, to help people. One of my books is called The Spiritual Jigsaw Puzzle. How do you solve the puzzle? My latest book is After Realizations of a Yogi. This is one of my books. After this, I've written a book, The 8 Stages of Spiritual Awakening. Now, spiritual awakening gives you peace, gives you happiness, gives you God. I've written many books on God, on religion. So, but if you see, I don't write novels. I don't write fairy tales. I don't write stories. I don't write mithya. All my books are focused on the truth. So, I have the truth and nothing but the truth.
So, have you had any profound spiritual experience where you felt that enlightenment? You've just felt that I am enlightened?
Actually, from 2012, I went on a talash. And from 2012, 2013, 2014, it was on the 31st of August 2014 when I was flying from Paris to Bangalore on that non-stop flight. I suddenly got that aha, that epiphany. I realized I am not Ravi. My mother and father gave me a name Ravi, but I am not Ravi. I am not this body, I am not the mind, I am not the ego, I am the Atma in Ravi. So I kept saying Atma in Ravi on that flight, and AiR, air came out. So yes, it was a spark. It was that aha moment. And when I came back on the 31st of August 2014, on the next day, I told the office, I told my team, I will not sign a check. I will not go to office. I will not do work. Are you gone mad? Are you gone crazy? Because I was signing hundreds of checks every day. I said, I will not. But who will do? That's another question. But I will not. So from that day, I call it a transformation. And the transformation led me from 2014 to what I call a metamorphosis. In a transformation, I could have become air, air could have become Ravi. But in a metamorphosis, when the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, the butterfly can never become a caterpillar again.
Wow.
So this is a metamorphosis. And that metamorphosis, when you get the realization. See, a lot of people think that realization comes from education and comes from the qualification. For realization, you don't need an education, you don't need a qualification. You need purification that will cause this illumination. And then the spark of light comes on.
Wow. So I've heard that you have a very magnanimous side to you, and you have is it a shelter for destitutes or centers?
We have 3 shelters which takes care of 800 people.
Okay.
So as we are talking today, we are serving lunch to 800 people.
Wow.
And they live with us. We take care of their medical needs. They are from the street, from the gutters. They are discarded, destitutes, who have no parents, sometimes there are children who are blind, children who are physically challenged, parents leave them on the street. We have found small babies in the dustbin.
Oh, okay.
And we've picked them up. And today, what baby I picked up in a dustbin 20 years back is now 21-year-old adult. So I've been doing this for over 30 years. And we have taken care of thousands of people. But for 25 years, I thought I was doing good karma by taking care of this service. But then came the realization, the enlightenment, that I am not doing it. And each of these people is not somebody who's a physical form. I see God in them. The moment you see God in them, then the compassion becomes devotion. There is no more compassion for people who are suffering. There is devotion for God who I am serving. Vivekananda said something very beautiful. He said, Shiv Jnani Jan Seva, Vivekananda ne ye kaha, Dukhiyon ki seva jo karta, wahi Shiv ko pata, ehsaas जिसको होता शिव सब में वो पूजा करता जो सेवा करता दीन दुखियों की वही पूजा करता.
क्या बात है.
This is what Vivekananda said in some of his words. कि जो शिव को जानता है, शिव का ज्ञानी है, वो जन का सेवा करता है.
A lot of people who want to get in touch with you and consult you, because I've heard that you have Zoom conversations with them at 8 p.m. India time, and a lot of people ask you questions. So I want my audience to know, how do they reach out to you?
So there's a Zoom number. We'll give you the Zoom number. It's free.
Okay.
I don't charge for any of the work I do. Because I believe that this is not something which has a price to it. So people come free on a Zoom call. You can just click your button, come into the Zoom and ask me any question. People ask me a question on life, on death, on rebirth, on karma, on God, on religion, on spirituality, on happiness, on problems, on relationships, on misery, on the mind, on consciousness, on Satchidanand, Moksha, on the Vedas, on the Upanishads. And I answer it live. We don't prepare answers and come. So anybody can ask a question because I don't answer.
Okay.
I'm just
a medium.
A loudspeaker. The answer comes.
What do you have to say about the knowledge from the Vedas and the Upanishads?
Actually, this is the most beautiful question you asked me. You know, the Vedas are volumes of books. And the Vedas have something called Vedanta. The end of the Vedas are called the Upanishads. The Upanishads are supposed to be about 108 or 110 Upanishads. Now, from the Upanishads, there are 10 primary Upanishads. The Mandukya and the Chandogya. Now, from all the Vedas and all the Upanishads, there are 4 Mahavakyas.
Acha.
4 principal statements, and I'm not talking, this is what is said in the scripture. The 4 principal statements are Tat Tvam Asi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. These 10 words with 2 words, Neti Neti. These 12 words have all the Vedas, all the Upanishads in it.
The सार मतलब जैसे उपनिषद का सार
हाँ जैसे गीता का सार होता है तो उपनिषद can be explained, Vedas can be explained in 12 words.
Would you be able to explain every
Sure.
principle?
So the Upanishads and the Vedas have 12 words. The first 2 words, which are what I call the doorway to the Mahavakyas, my favorite words are Neti Neti. Neti means not this.
Okay.
So, not this, not this. You are not this body. You are not this mind. What does it mean? It means this body will die. And people will say, you passed away. So, if you passed away, then you're not this body. And the Upanishad says, Neti Neti. You're not the body, you're not the mind. I teach people. I say, do you have a nose? They say, yeah, I have a nose. I say, what about your ears? I say, I'm pulling my ears. Can you see? Of course I can see my eyes in the mirror. You have a brain, you have a heart. Yeah, of course I've seen pictures, MRI. Have you ever seen the mind? Have you ever seen the mind? They say, mind. No, I have not seen the mind. Because you cannot see the mind, because there is no mind. So the Upanishad says, Neti Neti. You are not the body, you are not the mind. Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. That thou art. That. Now what that thou art means what? You are that, not this. Then it says, I am Atma Brahma. This Atma is Brahma. Brahma here means the supreme power. Mm-hmm. Brahma, not Shiva, Vishnu, Mahesh, not Brahma,
not that
Vishnu,
Brahma.
Shiva, not that. So here Brahma, the Upanishads, Brahman they call it, is the supreme power, which is nameless and formless. They call it Brahman. So, Tat Tvam Asi, you are not this, you are that. You are the soul, the spark of unique life. That soul, I am Atma Brahma, that soul is Sit, the supreme immortal power. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means you are God. You are thinking you are a human being. No, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are the Atma. The Atma is immortal, the Atma doesn't die. People have got so many misconceptions of the transmigration of the soul and the reincarnation of the soul. No, Upanishads says very clearly, Neti Neti, Tat Tvam Asi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, and Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma means God is in you, God is in him, God is in her, God is in me, God is everywhere, God is in everything. And that's where the famous words come in Bollywood called Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satya ye hai ki Shiv hi sundar hai. If you're so beautiful and the Atma leaves you, where does your beauty go?
Gone.
So Shiva hi sundar hai. Shiva here means God. So the Upanishads, you don't have to study volumes of Vedas and Upanishads. You need to learn the 4 Mahavakyas. You can be enlightened.
Wow. What is your relationship advice to people? Because I'm sure people are crying on your shoulders all the time.
See, relationships, I believe, we all need relationships.
Right.
But I've written a book, it's called the 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment.
Wow.
There are 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment. FHLEPAMIPS. Thou shalt be free. Thou shalt be happy. Thou shalt love all. Thou shalt not have expectations. Thou shalt have peace of mind. Thou shalt accept and surrender. Thou shalt not be miserable. Thou shalt overcome ignorance. Thou shalt live with purpose. And thou shalt live as the divine soul. I give people 10 commandments. I remember it with this formula, right? FHLEPAMIPS. How do I remember it otherwise? So, in relationships, as long as my relationship with you is to do from skin to skin, we are surely going to cry.
Yeah.
But if our relationship is from soul to soul, there will be bliss in the air. There will be beautiful, there will be joy.
True.
I've written a book called Prema Yoga. Prema Yoga means that learn to love your beloved as God.
Wow.
प्रीतम में प्रभु जो भी महसूस करता होता योगा प्रभु से योगा प्रेम योगा प्रभु से होगा.
Wow. क्या बात है.
So the beauty is learn to love. I tell people, your relationship, you're possessive, you have expectations, you have conditions in your love, you're bound to be unhappy. You want your relationship to work, don't look at the person as the person is. Look beyond. Look at the soul. Have a soulful relationship. Every relationship has 4 pillars: body, mind, heart and soul. Physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual. If you don't have all the 4 elements right, the relationship can't go right, it will go wrong.
Very true. So you've written a book on rebirth. Have you had any experiences of like being born again, or is it being born in this lifetime? Like a rebirth right here, right now?
In my book on rebirth, what I say is very simple, and I'm asking you, do you believe in death?
Yes.
Every body has to die.
Right.
Do you believe in birth?
Yes.
There are people being born every day.
Yeah.
Nobody can deny there is birth and there is death. Keep them aside. In Mumbai, do you have those special apple trees where you get mangoes? Do you have in Mumbai? Apple trees where mangoes are growing?
No.
No. You come to Bangalore, I'll show you. So you're laughing, right? Why are you laughing? Because mangoes can never grow on apple trees.
Right.
This is a law called the law of karma. The law of karma states, as you sow, so shall you reap. If you plant mangoes, you will get mangoes. This is a law. You agree this is a law?
Yes.
3 things we are talking of. We are talking of death, we are talking of birth, we are talking of karma. Now join the dots. When a person dies, are all the karma settled? Cannot be settled because he has done karma today. So he has got some karma pending. The body dies. but his karma is pending. Therefore, we carry karma. Who carries karma? Me. The mind and the ego carries karma, the subtle body, returns to earth in a rebirth. That's why sometimes a child is born blind. Is it because God is not kind? No, God has nothing to do in this business. You're born. Did you choose your mother? Did you choose your father?
No.
Who did? Karma did.
Yeah.
It is your karma that decided how you came to earth. Therefore, when you came to earth, it was not a birth. When you came to earth, it was a rebirth. And this is scientific. If you throw an apple up,
Yeah.
does it fly in the sky? If you throw an apple, or does it come back down?
It comes back.
Why does it
Yeah.
come back down? Because of the law of
Gravity.
Gravity. So can you prove gravity? You don't need to prove gravity. I'm throwing a ball up, it's coming down. Therefore, there's Newton. When the apple fell on Newton's head, oh, ouch, others would say. He said, why? He discovered gravity. So, this is the story, that we will return to earth as long as we have karma. The moment we realize we are not this body that will die, we are not the mind and ego that carries karma, we are the Atma, we are the soul, we attain moksha, we attain nirvana. That is a simple formula of life.
I've heard that you've written and sung 1400 songs, and they're called Jivan Sangeet. You also sung for us, in during this course of interview. What is your inspiration? Like, does it just come naturally to you? You just write and...
I take 20 minutes to write a song.
Wow, that's a talent.
No, it's not a talent. It cannot be a talent. Nobody can do it with talent. It comes like an SMS.
Yeah.
It just comes.
Right.
So the reason I call it Jivan Sangeet, earlier they were called bhajans, but they are for any religion, for any following. Just like all my books are meant to help people attain the truth, all my songs are Jivan Sangeet. So I would just write a song and say, जीवन क्या है कोई न जाने, सब समझते हम ये जाने, सच का एहसास जो है करता वही जाने, जीवन क्या है अनुभूति अपरोक्ष है, कृपा से ही ये होता है, सच का एहसास जो ना करता वो जीता है और मरता है.
क्या बात है.
So I write songs all to do with life, with death. I told you one song on life. I'll close with the song on death.
Okay.
The song says, मौत की सच्चाई क्या है, हम कभी ना मरते हैं, हम तो इस शरीर से मुक्त होते हैं जब ये तन मरता है, हम तो अमर आत्मा है, आत्मा कभी ना मरती है, एहसास जब होता है हम तन मन्ना संसार से मुक्त होते हैं.
बहुत बढ़िया.
So I write on songs like on death, on life, on God, on prema yoga.
That's a wonderful way of, like even connecting with people and connecting your thoughts and spirituality and bringing all of it together with not only pravachan but also music.
Yeah.
So on that note, I had fun with this conversation. It was really amazing, and I'm sure my audience has also learned a lot from you.
I hope so.
Thank you for your valuable input, your time, and sharing with us everything that you have, gained in this lifetime.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here today.
My pleasure. Okay.